Welcome to Renewed and Radiant for women over 40 who are ready to own their power, prioritize their wellness, and design a life they love. I'm your host, Elsa Martin, and I'm here for the real, raw conversations that we all crave. Whether we're talking healing, hormones, purpose, or pleasure, nothing is off the table. So grab your tea, your journal, or just your earbuds, and let's dive into the empowered, vibrant life that is waiting for you. Because your next chapter starts now. Right, here we go. Today, I am pumped for this lady to be joining us today, my friends. You're going to be encouraged and inspired today. Let me tell you that. When this lady is not behind the camera or working on the farm, you usually find her sipping coffee out of her favorite pottery mug, laughing with friends who feel like family, or admiring golden hour. She is a beautiful mom of two little ones. She owns three businesses, is a Western lifestyle photographer, and a fourth generation farmer rancher. All of this, and the reason I chose and asked for her to come on to Renewed and Radiant is that at the heart of everything that she does is she has her love for agriculture, storytelling, and capturing real authentic moments, which of course that's what we're all about around here. So thank you for joining me today, Ciara.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This is my first podcast and I'm so excited.
So good to have you here. I'm honored that Renewed and Radiant is your first podcast because I know there's going to be many, many more.
I'm very excited to be here.
So, Ciara, I always like to have people share their real and raw stories of sort of where they started and what got them to where they are now, which you're young. I also want to point out that for ladies that are listening, especially young moms, it can feel like hearing something like all the things you're doing and have done can, I don't know, when I was in that state, it can feel overwhelming and feel like we're not doing enough when we hear of someone that's doing all the things like what you're doing. So I'm really interested to hear your story of where you were, what you're doing now, and how you're doing now so that we can really encourage and inspire other young moms that are trying to do all the things or just get through a day, right? Because that's all part of it. So share with us your story.
For sure.
Okay, awesome.
So I feel like every day I'm like, I am not doing all the things. I have no idea what I'm doing. We are just very fly by the seat of our pants here, or so I like to think anyway. So kind of a little bit of a backstory would be that, you said that I'm a fourth generation farmer. My husband and I live on the farm here with my family, which is amazing. And I love being able to raise my children where I was raised, where my dad was raised, generations before. That is something that both Riley and I hold very close to our hearts. We think that that is incredibly special to do that. I kind of started photography about 7, 8 years ago. I didn't really take it seriously, but growing up, I was always kind of the friend that had the camera, like I was like, let's take pictures, let's dress up, let's do all the things. Didn't really think of it too seriously until about 7 or 8 years ago. My mom kind of encouraged me to dig the camera back out. I actually credit her a lot for this. I am so thankful that she had a history of, taking pictures. She went to school to be a photographer way back in the day. So I started taking pictures. Didn't really think of it as anything too serious, just thought it was really fun. And now it has snowballed into this incredible full-time business, which is crazy. So before it became full-time, I was working at a local Hutterite colony as a teacher's aide. I worked there for about 6 years-ish. And then once I had my son, I decided that I really wanted to, go full time, be home with my kids all day. It was really important to me that I still do something that sparks a different part of my brain. Being a mom is the best job in the world. We all know that, but holy man, it can be a lot sometimes. It's hard to juggle all the things. And I just felt like it was really important for me to have another part of my brain working and focusing and just like that piece of me from the past to bring into motherhood with me. I always feel like a lot of people are like, oh, well, you're just a mom. Well, you're never just a mom. I can't stand when people say that because, I was a person before I became a mom. And of course, my kids are my world, but, I have things that I love to do and that are important to me. And it feels good to think about more things than just being a mom. And I honestly think that it makes me a better mom, that I'm able to go to work and kind of like change that mindset a little and have the interaction with more people. And yeah, so now since I kind of went full time, we've had another baby, our daughter, and I've started a tallow business and a few other things on the go, which is really exciting. And yeah, that's my story about kind of how I got here.
I love that. This is so good. Yes, the point that you made about keeping a bit of yourself, that's your thing, and you're
Yeah.
amazing at it. I mean, if anybody checks out your page, you are an incredible photographer.
Well,
And
thank
so,
you.
yeah, and so not just to let that go, but to continue to pursue your passion. And I feel like for young moms, especially, you know, what, any age, to be honest, it's important for us to have our thing as well, not
Yeah.
just be the mom. I hate that term as well because it's like you
Yeah.
said, it's the most important job in the world. But you know, you can get labeled that, or you can even think of ourselves sometimes as that. I'm just a mom. I'm just a wife, and just, you know, the things. But
Yeah.
having that where we still have something more that we're thinking about, we're still pursuing something for ourselves, keeping some of our
Yes.
own identity, I think is so important.
It really is because, sometimes I can even feel it. You get lost in like the hustle of being a mom, getting your kids places, doing things, making sure they're ready, doing all the things. But you got to remember you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to focus on yourself and what makes you happy and brings you joy, because at the end of the day, that's going to make you a better mom, in my opinion.
Absolutely, for sure. And I think we've all been there where we've had days where we're empty. The cup is empty, right? We're not showing up as our best version of ourselves when our
No,
cup is empty.
no.
And so pursuing something that brings you joy outside of the home, because yes, we all love our kids and they bring us joy and all the things. We would do anything for them, but also pursuing something else. If you feel like that's your thing and something that you want to do, then, you know, I just really feel like it's important to kick that guilt, because I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever felt it. Yeah.
The mom guilt is real, and it's hard because I feel like our generation is very much like this. Honestly, I feel like the stay-at-home moms get a lot of flack in this generation because we're in a hustle generation, right? Like things are always constantly evolving, and I feel like you get labeled as like a stay-at-home mom, which I'm like, that is the hardest job in the world. That is the hardest job in the world. So I just feel like being able to go and just like have that time for yourself, but also, when you make your own business, like I have created here, I'm able to make my own hours. So I'm able to stay home with my kids all day and spend that time with them and not have to miss those milestones. But then in the evening, I go and do my pictures, and I'm very blessed because I live in the same yard as my parents, and my mom just puts my kids to bed for me. So when I come home, my kids are in their own bed. I've gone and I've had those couple hours of like adult interaction and like using that fun part of my brain again. And then I come home and my kids are like, I'm back to being a mom again. It's just, in my opinion, I could not have it any better. I'm able to stay home with my kids all day, pursue my career, and then come home at the end of the day and my kids are home.
It's amazing. You're very blessed.
Yes, I am. I am very, very fortunate.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is that I love about that is having something that you can do that also fits into your lifestyle, whether it's going off to work full time like that, or I'm a huge fan of like online business, especially for people that want to be able to be at home as well, but to be able to also have a business that you can run right from home. Like, this is
Yeah.
amazing what you're doing.
Yeah, I could not do what I do without my support system behind the scenes. Most incredible support team behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. And that's what, like, when we say, she's doing it all, she's doing all the things, well, she might look like it, but really there's an army behind her helping her do all of those things.
Yes, so true. And I think it's important to point that out because we can see people, especially like on social media, you know, the highlight reels and that, and we think, how is she doing it? Comparison is such a trap. It can make us feel like less than, or that we're not doing
For
enough,
sure.
right? And it's like, how's she doing it all? She's not doing it all.
I'm
She-
not. That's the trick. I'm not. It might look like it, but I'm not. I have an amazing, amazing support system that I give so much credit to.
Ah, that's so great. So, Ciara, you had this passion, you decided to pursue it. We talked about the mom guilt. I think a couple of takeaways already are to find support if you can, if you need to hire someone, or call on a parent or some family member, something like that. Sometimes that's an option. If not, then hire someone if this is that important to you. And then also, don't let the guilt come in. Shut down those negative thoughts.
Yeah, that is something that I do struggle with quite a bit. And this year especially because I have two kids now, it's like it seems to be like double the guilt for some reason. So sometimes it's really hard for me to remember, no, this is important to you. You've worked really hard for this. You deserve to go and do this. Don't let the guilt eat you alive. Like this is it's you got to remember you deserved it, you worked hard for it, and you want it. So it's really important because I truthfully feel wholeheartedly that if your children see you working hard, striving for your goals, then they're going to think, well, my mom can do it, anybody can do it, right? Like if she can do it, then I should be able to do it. Like I just want to be the best role model for my kids to like always go and chase their dreams. It's not always going to be easy ever, but if it means that much to you, it's worth it every single time.
Come on. That is so good. What a reminder. Whether it's like going to work or if it's going to the gym or if it's just making time for you to go for a walk or something that's going to fill your cup, you got to remind yourself of that. That is so powerful, Ciara. We have to remind ourselves, right? Because those negative thoughts are going to come in. The mom guilt. I mean, mom guilt comes no matter what, no matter what you're
Oh,
doing.
it's always like hovering.
Yeah.
Cause like even
Yes.
like some find myself, I'll be doing this amazing opportunity with my job and my career, and then all of a sudden I wonder what my kids are doing. Sometimes it's like you let that guilt kind of creep up, and then you just start to like juggle. You're like, what do I do with these feelings? Do I act on it? Do I reach out to my, my babysitter and say like, is everything okay? Or do you just like put that wall up and say, no, you're at work, everything's fine. If it wasn't, they would call. It's just I always say that it takes 5 positive things to get rid of 1 negative thing. So that's something I always try and really focus on is if I'm starting to get like negative in my head about like mom guilt, especially, I'm like, no. And then I try and list a few things that I've worked really hard for and why I deserve to do it.
That's amazing. What good advice right there. Whenever you have a negative thought, which wow, happens a lot, to replace it with 5 positive. That is so great. And often I will recommend to ladies to literally write a list of positive
Oh,
things because sometimes when we're in that moment and the negative's coming and the guilt starts to come or whatever it is, we can forget. Like, is there anything positive or we can get so down that trail of the negative?
yeah, totally. It can eat you up. Mom guilt is something I could talk about all day.
I love that you're so honest about it though, because when people see you and they see all the things you're doing and they think you're doing it all and how amazing you are, and it looks like you have the perfect life. We know that there's no such thing,
There
but
is no such thing. That is social media for you. Like you said earlier, it is literally a highlight reel. Like you only see when I have it all together for the 3 seconds I post about it. But before that, you don't see me carrying 17 bags out the door to the combine, the meltdown to put the shoes on. We forgot this toy. We forgot this. Mom is sweating. We don't see that part. We just see the cute little clip of the kids in the combine and their little toys. But yeah, no, social media is definitely really hard on new moms, especially. And I still even consider myself a new mom. And my son will be 3. I'm still learning as I go. And it's really hard not to get caught up in that comparing game on social media.
yes, yeah. First off, I want to say I feel like you, and I try to do this too. It's not always easy, but I feel like you are good at showing sometimes behind the scenes and that say,
Yes.
hey, this is what really happened in order to get me to here. I
Yes.
appreciate
I I have posted a few, especially photo shoots, because if you've done photo shoots with young children, you know the chaos that goes on behind the scenes. So when I do my own photos, I always try and post like the behind the scenes of like what my face actually looks like, whether that's like I'm talking to someone, I'm having a meltdown. I always try and remind people, especially young moms, like when we're in photo shoot mode, just roll with the punches because there's beautiful moments within every moment. We just need to get past the meltdown and then everything will be beautiful. But it's always such a good reminder to, as a photographer and a young mom, to post those so that other people are like, okay, this is normal. It's not the perfectly posed, you're getting kisses on the cheeks from your babies, you're holding hands. No, it is usually chaos before and after that. That is just like a quick second glimpse of what the shoot might look like.
Exactly. And that's encouraging too, because you're like, okay, mine's not the only family that this is like
Oh,
craziness.
no, never. You're never the only one.
Exactly. No matter what it is. That's so good. I love that. So, Ciara, as far as anyone listening to this and thinking, I'm interested in starting my own business, or I'm interested in starting something online, but I have all of this, whether it's kids or it's things that I need, other things I need to take care of, or whatever it is. Do you have some suggestions of what you would say to them? What would be a good maybe starting point or some steps that they could take to maybe consider what they could be doing or how they could get started?
Yeah, for sure. So, my biggest thing right now in my life is I revolve around nap time, which I'm sure a lot of young moms get. I just really try and prioritize my time. If I have a deadline coming up, or, even like this today, I was like, hey, morning nap, I'm going to make sure I do everything I can to prep for my mom coming down here so it's easier for her. And then I can get out the door to do all of this. So, I mean, if you guys haven't guessed it, I'm a little bit type A. I really like lists and organization and, all the things. But I would just say prioritize your downtime and make time. If this is important for you, make the time. When your kids go to bed, yes, you want to lay on the couch and play on your phone and do the things, but just make the time. Make yourself get up, go sit at the table, and just start. You've got to just start. There's always going to be the list pushing from behind saying, like, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be doing this. The dishes aren't done. The toys aren't cleaned up. Those things will always be there. But this dream in your head, you just got to start and you just got to let it come out. And then it's just going to start building on itself, right? Like, you can clean up the toys tomorrow morning, or you can clean up the toys at midnight. But just take the time, carve the time out in your very busy day. Moms are the busiest people I know, honestly. If you're sitting down at lunch, just quickly jot some notes down of things you wanted to do after bedtime. Just start. That's like the hardest part, in my opinion, is just starting and just wrapping your head around the fact that you deserve to do this. Like, if it's in your head and it's been like there for a while and you can't stop thinking about it, you just start. Just find the time, make the time, start, and then, yeah, prioritize those nap times and down times.
That's perfect. That is so true and so good, no matter what it is. And it's going to feel hard. It's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to have all the thoughts going on in your head that I can't do this
Yeah.
or I won't have time or all the stuff, but just start. Exactly.
Yeah, and always gonna, like you said, sorry, like you said, was that you're always gonna have those self-doubts in your mind. And you're always gonna think like, oh my gosh, I am not good enough to do this. I'm not qualified enough to do this. But like, who tells you that you're not? Like, who is the judge of that? Not one person.
That's right.
Like, you just have to get out of your own head, and that's probably honestly the hardest part, rather than just actually starting, is getting out of your own head and just, because if you do it and it fails, then okay, try again. If you do it and it's a success, then like, wow, that's amazing. But the best part is if you fail, you just keep trying, because
Yes,
nothing's going to be perfect on the first try.
exactly. That is great. And I think how many dreams, how many businesses, how many things have just been left, by far way more than have actually been accomplished, because we get in our own heads and we don't even take the steps to start.
Yeah, it's very sad. I do blame the competition you create with yourself on the social media life, right? Like, you see these companies pop up, but really you're only seeing them once they're creating momentum. You didn't see them fail the three times before that, right? Like, it's just the highlight reel. So just start.
Yes. And remembering that everybody failed multiple times to get where they are. Like, it's just how you learn.
Yes, exactly. If you're not uncomfortable and it doesn't make you nervous, then I always say, if you're not feeling nervous and you're not feeling excited and it's not making you uncomfortable, don't even bother doing it. Like, I kind of like chase those feelings. I'm like, if this is making me excited, nervous, scared, doubting myself, I'm probably moving in the right direction.
Ciara, it's an addiction.
It is. It honestly is. It's like trying to outdo yourself over and over again. It's, yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. And not everybody will relate to that, but it is, especially as a type A personality, right?
Mhm.
We're like, what's the next thing? We got to push, we got to
Yes.
do more. Yeah. And finding that balance. Do you have any suggestions on that for ladies? And I'm not going to say just young moms because everybody deals with it, everybody's busy. Suggestions on finding that balance of all the things. And is there such a balance, or what do you do?
I just would say probably prioritizing my time and like I've really kind of set office hours for myself this year, whether that depends on editing or answering emails or whatever that might be. And that has really helped me a lot to kind of balance it all. Whereas before I was maybe, at dinner with friends answering emails because I was sat down. And that's not healthy either. So I think once I created those office boundaries for myself, that really helped me balance. But for the most part, I just juggle. I don't really have a good answer. I would honestly love to hear how other women do it. I mean, staying up till 2 in the morning is really not the right answer, but sometimes that's what I do to get my job done. So
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, right?
especially, yeah, as a mom, sometimes that is just like the model. Just do what you got to do to get by and it'll be okay.
I think too, Ciara, you touched on, again, goes back to not let your mind talk you out of it. And I think that that's also part of what can slow us down or stop us from setting those boundaries is that we get into our head, well, if I only have these office hours, what about if somebody emails me at this time and I'm out with friends and I don't see it, or there's a message, that kind of thing too. So we also can get in our head there as well, instead of setting a boundary. No, this is what I'm doing, it's gonna be there tomorrow, sort of thing, right? So instead of just going back and forth all the time in our heads, set the boundary, live with that, and approach it that way.
Yeah. So I guess I would like after being in this industry, in this business and like the online world, running multiple businesses, I've kind of just told myself, you know what? That will be there when I get back. If my kid wants to go outside and ride his pony or whatever, those moments with my kids are so short. They are only little once. That email will be there and I can answer it at 2 in the morning. I would rather go out and spend the time with my kids now and do the things that I want to do. And that's the beauty of creating your own business and your business boundaries, is that that will be there waiting for you. It will always be waiting for you. But, these opportunities and these moments with your kids aren't always going to be there. So that's kind of, it's having kids really shifted my business mind, in my opinion, the best way possible. Because if those clients really want to book you as a photographer and they want to, buy your product or come into your storefront or whatever that might be, they will come back again. If they believe in you and they love your work that much, they will wait for the email. They will wait for you to come back. You know what I mean? Like, you are building this business to create your dream clients and your dream job. So I think it's really important to set those business boundaries and say yes to the things that you love, but then also realize at the end of the day, yeah, I'm going to have to carve out some serious office time into the night.
Yeah, that's so great. Your boundaries, it's just so important to set those boundaries there and not let your head get in the way. Be fully focused on
Totally. Yes, I want to state that I am not I'm not perfect at this, but that's just what I really strive for in my business.
exactly. Perfection. It's not a thing. We're always working on progress and doing our best with where we're at. Okay, so Ciara, I like to give everybody a few takeaways. What I would say is kick the guilt to the curb no matter what it is, because there's always guilt, whether it's mom guilt or some other kind of thing. Kick the guilt to the curb and get going towards your goals. Just start. Don't let your head
Yes.
get in the way. Just start. Yes. And also support. Be open to receiving support. Ask for help. Also, another one is like, remember, you're seeing people's highlight reels. You see Ciara, her family, everything looks perfect. We know there's no such thing. There's behind the scenes stuff that's going on in her life, just like in everybody else's lives. So
Yes.
perfection is not a thing. Don't let comparison stop you from going for your goals.
Yes. I completely agree. Don't, the comparison game is a nasty one, and just try to just keep it to the side and don't let it, I mean, let it creep up competitively in a good way, but don't let it overcome.
That's so great because it can stop us from doing so many things. And everybody's different. Like everybody's different, even if we're doing the same thing or selling the same product, everybody's different. So it's okay.
Exactly.
Only you can bring you, right?
Yes, it's so important to just believe in yourself and believe in your business and your work and your art, and you're the only one that can see something a certain way. And yeah, it's that's what makes your business and goals and dreams and life so beautiful, is that you're the one that's creating it.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to look like anybody else's because it's yours. And
Exactly.
I often tell the ladies in my program is that nobody else needs to understand your dream because it's not theirs, it's yours. You need to
Yes,
understand your dream and why you're going for your dream.
totally agree. That is, yes.
Awesome. Okay, Ciara, I want to ask you some rapid fire questions so that we can get to know you a little bit better. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
So we went to Mykonos on a school trip when I was, gosh, I think I was 15. And I have just been obsessed with the idea of Mykonos, Greece, ever since. The architecture there and like the colors and like the atmosphere, I have never forgot that. I am obsessed with the whole idea. I will be going back there in the future. I'm convinced. I just absolutely loved it there.
Okay, now I want to go, obviously.
Yes, you have to go. It is so amazing.
Ah, that's great. Favorite healthy food?
I don't know if you'll consider this healthy, but I consider it healthy. Mom and I are obsessed with like homemade taco salads right now. We just put kind of like whatever veggies we can find in the fridge in there with some sour cream and salsa and some ground either turkey or chicken or beef, and just mix it all together and sprinkle it with some like it's got to be Ariba chips. It can't be Doritos, I'm telling you. And that makes it maybe not so healthy, but that's like my go-to right now.
Okay, and so easy. I love taco salad too. It's so simple.
It is so simple and it tastes good with anything out of the fridge. Honestly, whatever is in there, just chuck it in and it makes for a great salad.
That's right, exactly. Okay, last question. What's something that we may be shocked to know about you?
Ooh, I recently wrote a children's book, which seems kind of crazy saying out loud. Yeah, so I just basically noticed that the children's books in my kids' little library were really lacking relatable books for them, more specifically ABC books. So I created the Cow Kids ABC book, and I took my images and I turned them into watercolor prints and printed them in the little board book. And yeah, it's all things around our farm that my kids see every single day. And then they can actually resonate with them, like, C is for combine. And then it's actually things that are going to make sense to them, right? I wanted to create something for my kids that was actually things they see in everyday life. So I wrote a children's book.
Yeah, that's amazing. And tell us, where can people buy it? Because I'm ordering some. So that's amazing. Can't wait to see
Yeah,
it.
so I'm actually still in the process of working that out. I was not expecting the interest in it when I first talked about it on my Instagram, but so many so many people were interested in it. So I'm still in the process of like figuring out how I'm going to do all that. I'm hoping to have it in the works, ready to be, out there to the world by Christmas is my plan.
Great idea. That is the perfect Christmas gift for any farm kids. That's so great.
Yeah.
I love that. Tell us, where can people connect with you?
So you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Sierra Sound and Photography on both of there, and then as well as my Till and Tallow, my tallow company on Facebook and Instagram as well.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, we've got one more thing that
Yes.
that I've started, and it's I like to have the previous guest ask a question for the next guest, even though they don't know who it is. The question is, what was the hardest thing you've been through in your business, and one to two things you did to move through that? It's a great question.
Oh man, that's a heavy one.
I know, right?
I honestly, one of the first things that came to my mind was transitioning to going full time. That was really scary for me because I had always depended on my EA job, right? Like as my income and that kind of stuff. And photography was always more of a hobby in my brain. So transitioning from making this job a hobby into a full-time career, that was very intimidating and very scary. And then you said one to two things that helped me through that.
Yeah.
So one thing would be my family helped me through that a lot. My family and friends. And then just honestly, Being consistent. I love the word consistency. I think it is such a powerful thing. Consistency to me is just showing up again and again until you finally create the vision of the life you want to live. And I think it's so important. So I would say, one, my family and friends really helped me through this. And two, being consistent and just creating the business that was me. It wasn't anybody else. It was just, I really strive for my business to be consistently me.
That's amazing. I love that. And everyone needs to hear that. Strive to make your business, your life, your family, just you. Just you.
Yes.
Make it you, not trying to make it somebody else or what you see from somebody else. Make it you. Design the life that you love, not what somebody
Yeah.
else is doing.
Yes, because you see things differently than I might see things, right? Like it's so beautiful the power of your own ideas and your own creative thoughts and your own art. Like the whole idea of that everybody sees the world so differently is it's
Mhm.
very beautiful.
Yes, I agree. I would like everybody to have one takeaway. So, what would you say if someone was in a place where you were several years ago when you're like, I want to do this, but I want to have kids, or, anything it is to do with what action that they could take today, right now, to get started towards a goal, whatever that goal is, whether it's working out or eating healthy or starting a business, what is one step someone could take right now to start them in that direction?
So I'm going to go back and kind of repeat myself a little bit here, but I would say just being consistent. Like I said, I love the word consistency. So you can kind of break consistency down into different categories that will apply to your life, like consistently showing up on social media, consistently posting, consistently listening and creating that friendship and that trust with your clients or your people in your life, just being very consistent in everything that you do, right? Like just carving out, even 20 minutes every day consistently, because smaller, consistent steps equal great big results.
Yes, I love that. Tell us the quote one more time. Consistency is showing up.
Consistency is showing up again and again until you eventually create the vision of the life or the version of your life that you love.
Come on. That's gold right there. If they take away nothing else, that's it right there. Consistency, it really is the key, because we can have these big goals and big dreams, but it's not the big things that we do, it's the daily things that add up to the big things.
Exactly. It's the little things that add up over time. The little actions equal big results.
Thank you so much, Ciara.
Yeah.
You are beautiful and incredible. And this has been such a great conversation. And I know it's going to be super encouraging to so many people.
Oh, I hope so. I hope that it can inspire someone to starting one of their dreams. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining me today on Renewed and Radiant. I hope today's conversation sparked something in you, a shift, a question, or even a bold new intention. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another amazing woman. Until next time, stay strong, stay empowered, and keep showing up for yourself. Because you, my friend, are just getting started on designing a life you love.